What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mr. Cheap Sense here early this morning, and I woke up to a big surprise this morning as I'm going through my YouTube comment section. I started noticing all the comments that were coming in. And I already expected from the beginning of what was said yesterday. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm looking through one of my boxes right now. I'm trying to. I have a little point that I want to try and make when it comes to fragrances. And I want to pull a few out just to show you what I'm talking about. So, that's gonna have to be enough for now. I don't want to pull all this stuff back out. So, yesterday, and to me, my opinion, my personal opinion, is that it was too much of a coincidence, and I'm still not gonna name drop, and I'm still not gonna bash this person's channel. Everybody who commented on the subject matter from yesterday knows exactly who it is who I'm referring to. So I went on Facebook yesterday, and as many videos as I have posted on YouTube, for the most part, have gotten good comments from a lot of people, even some of the bigger name people. I'm not gonna name drop in a video like this. I'll only name drop in something positive. It can be looked at as positive because I feel like it was subliminal shots fired at me and people like me. And it's funny how right after I posted the video that I was getting rid of or selling some cheapy fragrances, somebody came right behind me after that and posted a video on why not to buy cheap fragrances. And even when I sat and watched that video, I didn't get upset. I didn't rant and rave and, you know what I'm saying, go back and say his name or, blast his channel or nothing like that, because I have respect, which is what needs to be had in Fragcom or the fragrance community or whatever you want to call it. Everybody needs to respect everybody. And the business is big and broad enough for all of us to fit in. And if somebody wants to offload some of their fragrances, I don't see why not, because some of the bigger name fragrance channels are doing it. They're making their money. Now, I'm not doing this as a full-time gig or, nothing like that. I don't have some kind of website set up to where I'm trying to offload fragrances and make this money. I'm just trying to rotate mine out. So if I can make some coin off of something that somebody else may be interested in that I have barely used, then I don't see what's wrong with that. When you decant a fragrance and send it to somebody, you've just used a bottle. Technically is used. The bottle is technically used if you want to be technical about it. The first time you open it and spray it, even to test it, it's used. So if you use that same bottle to decant a fragrance and ship to somebody to make a profit off of, you've just used a used bottle. So what's the difference in me selling mine for 15, 20 bucks that I've sprayed maybe once or twice? You did the same thing. You just did it in a decant size. It's still used. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It blows my mind that people. I'm not surprised at the fact that this was said, because it's funny how indirectly, even though my name wasn't dropped in the video or my channel, it's funny how they like sent out shots at not to buy cheap fragrances, but he also has cheap fragrances in the package still brand new that he plugged his website for in the same video. So, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, you may be even selling yours for a higher price than what you can buy it for at Ross and TJ Maxx. Who knows? I don't know. I've never even been on your website, so I don't know. But I'm not gonna bash you for what you're doing. I wish all the success, many years to come. You seem like a young guy. You got your whole life ahead of you, your future ahead of you. I'm happy for you. I'm not in this to be out here trying to make a whole bunch of money off of it. I don't have that ambition for that. But I do these videos because I know there's a market for it, and you knew there was a market for it when you first got into it, because even in the video you said that you were the same way one time. Yes, it's cool that people grow, they learn from, mistakes and past experiences, and they put that out there for people to, use as a guideline. But most people out here can't afford to just go out and buy a Creed fragrance or a Mancera fragrance or a Rosia Dove and all that kind of stuff. A lot of us can't do that. Like, yeah, it's easier said than done for a lot of people to just say, oh, I'm just going to, save this $20 here and save that $20 there, because life happens. You know what I'm saying? Life isn't always easy. It's not always peaches and cream. You can't just always walk outside and just skip through a flower field like they did in Wizard of Oz, and everything be cool. What happened in the video? While they were skipping through the flowers, the evil witch did her thing, in which I called the evil witch. She gonna throw, roadblocks and stuff up in front of you, and it's gonna mess with you. So don't knock another person for what they're doing. There's money out here for everybody. There are fragrances out here for everybody. There's a market out here for absolutely everything. Just like you're selling fragrances on your website, there's somebody out here hustling dish rags. You know what I'm saying? That's their hustle. And I'm not going to knock somebody for their hustle. There's somebody out here who, if they're not selling dish rags, they selling loose cigarettes. Single cigarettes. Everybody has a hustle. I'm not going to knock them for that. When you in New York and New Jersey and you see all these panhandlers, the people with their little booths and stuff set up everywhere on the streets, that's their hustle. They selling CDs. They selling movies. They selling jewelry, whether real or fake. They selling fake or authentic jerseys. They selling shoes. They selling hot dogs. They selling Italian ices. They selling everything. So what you gonna do? You gonna go down the street, walk down the street, and you gonna knock everybody's hustle? That's what you gonna do? I mean, come on, dude. It's not that serious. It's really not. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that you're a bad person, because I don't even know you. I don't know anybody. I don't know any of the big name people. I only know these people because of me watching their channels. I know of them. I have no ill will towards none of you guys. So when I say I watch their channels, I don't always watch everything. So if Big Beard Business does a video and he talks about let's just say Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct, if he talks about this fragrance, of course I'll watch it because it's not that expensive. But I'm not going to go into Abercrombie and Fitch because I have been in one. It's 45 minutes from here. And I know how much these cost in store. Now, if you can find these, like my man over at Scent Nation found this one for $29.99 at his local store, I'll buy it all day for that price. But to go into Abercrombie and Fitch store and spend $80, $90 for this, that's just not what I'm going to do. That's not me. But the person who can, I'm not going to knock that person for doing what they do. That's why I always say, personally speaking, I don't want to buy Creed because Creed is too expensive for me. I've seen those prices up close and personal. I've smelled Aventus in the actual store, and I know what it smells like. And to me, it's not the greatest fragrance in the world like everybody else says it is. That's just my opinion. But I would own it if it was reasonably priced enough and the performance was still good. And that's another point I'm about to get to. So I've ran across a lot of different fragrances. Cheap, somewhat expensive. The most expensive one I have in my collection is Abertash Concepts #1. Great freshy, summer, springtime, very good fragrance. Online, this runs you about $300-400 retail. I got it for, he was selling it for $200 in the store. This is an actual like perfume world store, and he sold it to me for $150. So I actually got a pretty decent deal. And if I could find a Creed fragrance for around that price or cheaper, I'd buy it. But I'm not finna fork out $250, $200, $300, $350, $400. That's not what I'm not gonna do. Cause that same money I can use and do something with my kids, take them on a trip or a vacation, or you know what I'm saying? I'm not finna fork out that kind of money. If I can go to a store and here or there buy a decent fragrance, like this one came from Zara. This is Vibrant Leather. I've heard plenty of people talk about this fragrance. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna talk about this fragrance on your channel, and then turn around, and you know how much this costs. This runs you about $20 on the Zara website. So you're gonna talk about how decent this is, how much of a clone this is to Creed Aventus, and then turn around and say don't buy cheap fragrances. This is a cheapie, and you talked about it on your website. I've heard a lot of people, bigger name brand people, talk about these fragrances on their website. So in other words, if you want me to be technical about it, you're actually advertising and then turning around and lying and saying not to buy these fragrances. That's pretty much what you guys are saying. That's kind of contradictive, don't you think? If you're not one for advocating buying fragrances, not just if they're expensive or inexpensive, that means that your whole channel and everything you do is a crock of shit. Why even review a fragrance like this that costs you $20 and then you're gonna turn around and say don't buy cheap fragrances? I'm just saying. For me, cheap fragrances don't always have to be $20. They can be something that you find retail that's marked down. Givenchy Gentleman Only is an excellent fragrance. No guys, this is not for sale. Not yet anyway. Very nice fragrance. In Ulta, this runs you about $60 to $70. Brand new. And that's just for the 50 ml. That's what this is. It can get expensive. I've been in Ulta. I've been in Belk's. I've priced these fragrances, and I waited a long time to purchase something like this. And once I found it for a decent price, which I found this one online actually on, I think, Fragrance X or either Fragrance Net, for about 40 some odd dollars, I jumped on it. I have Chanel Eau Extreme that I got from Belk's, which is a retail store, which is pretty much the equivalent of Macy's and Nordstrom's and places like that, I guess. Their fragrances are very expensive. Also, I picked up Chanel Eau Extreme and where's the other one? And this one, Missoni, which is also a pretty expensive fragrance in that store. But being that they had this thing where you can apply for a credit card and they give you a discount whether you get the credit card or not, is the only reason why I have this and Eau Extreme. Because both of these, Eau Extreme is actually a little more than this one. But Eau Extreme was like, I think 60, 70, or 80 bucks. And I got that and this together with that discount when I applied for the card. Plus they gave me some Belk's bucks, which takes money off. And I got both of these for like 60, I think it was like 60 some odd dollars for both of them. So that's actually like 30 something dollars a piece. That's a deal. Full retail, I think this is like 60 something dollars in Belk's. I probably wouldn't even bought it for 60 something dollars. So that's just my personal preference of what I like to buy. I don't always go and buy a bunch of cheapies all the time. I do selective shopping at times. This guy, which is Invictus Intense. I found this in the women's department of, I believe, TJ Maxx in Florida somewhere. And this actually was 50 or 60 bucks. And I think it was marked down to like 40 some odd dollars, and I jumped on it. Pretty damn good fragrance. So my collection really isn't all that when it comes to cheapies, my friend. I have a bunch of good stuff. I've even seen you review this one, which is an inexpensive fragrance. So you're going to tell me that this is a shit fragrance, you shouldn't buy this one either? Because you hyped this one. And not just you, but a bunch of other people. I see this fragrance every day on Facebook that somebody's posting. And it's not for the fact that they went out and found it on their own. It's because people like us who review these fragrances talked about them, and then people started running to them and finding them. So now everybody's posting, this is my scent of the day. Go on Facebook right now and see how many people got this posted on their site. You're going to see this fragrance at least 10 to 15 times as you scroll through. I see it every day. One of the best clubbing scents, 1 million. I didn't buy this, obviously. Somebody sent it to me. But a lot of people talked about this one. They talked about how cloying it is and how, you know, it's only a good club scent. I didn't find it cloying at all. Very nice fragrance. I got no compliments. And everybody else hyped it up and said that you was going to get compliments and all this. And I know it could be my character at times. I'm old stone face Mr. Cheap Scents at times. People are afraid to come up to me and compliment me or say something to me because I have this old stone face look at times. 45 bucks. I found Lucky, 1 million Lucky at TJ Maxx right across the street from here. So if that's not a decent deal, I guess you guys lied about that one too. I've even seen people talk about this guy. This costs you about $30 to $35 online. This is Club De Nuit Intense Man. So I guess all the hype that people were saying about this fragrance was a lie. Because this is one of the most popular fragrances from the House of Armagh ever. beast mode performance, for some people it is, because they're catching the tail end of the thing, that fad that's going around now with these fragrance houses, that they put out shit now just because they know it's gonna sell because it has a certain name to it. Everybody knows this fragrance, so everybody's gonna flock to it and run and go get it because it's $35 and it smells similar to Creed Aventus, but now the performance is shitty. Not on this bottle, because this bottle is still beast mode, but I'm just saying, it's a cheap fragrance. You talked about it on your channel, so I guess you lied about that too. I know I didn't purchase this one. This was given to me, and I appreciate it greatly. My collection is not a slouch, homeboy. Not everything I have is Tommy Bahama or regular old Mercedes Benz or Guess fragrances. I do have some hitters. Whether I paid for it or not, it's still in my collection. Now, maybe I don't have Creed Aventus or Viking or any of that other stuff like you guys do. But I'm not going to go out and spend that kind of money. I'm not that person. That's not me. Now, if I hit the lottery, of course, I'll sell this whole box, these whole 2 boxes right now, everything that's in them, and run out and go buy a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, niche, name brand, good, high-end stuff. But I don't have that kind of money. I'm not going to do it. This one also was given to me. I didn't have to purchase it. I appreciate this one greatly. This is Dior Homme Cologne. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to show this guy. I know he probably won't even see this video because he's not a subscriber to my channel. But just trying to make a point that my collection really isn't that of a whole bunch of cheapy fragrances, my friend. I've heard a bunch of people talk about this one, Dunhill Icon, another great fragrance that's been hyped up to high hill and the price has skyrocketed on. I have it. One of the best cheapy fragrances that I found. Smells amazing, and it kind of reminds you of Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme or Eau Extreme Mandarina Duck Black. This is an inexpensive fragrance, and I'll put this up against Chanel and some other high-end fragrances. This shit is nice. For somebody who can't afford Boss Bottle, in which I know Boss Bottle is not expensive at the moment. You can find it at TJ Maxx for at least about $30, $40, depending on bottle size. If you can't afford it, Jaguar has one called Classic Gold that smells eerily similar to that fragrance. That cinnamon, that apple pie type vibe. And this runs you about between 10, 15, 20 bucks depending on where you get it from. So I'm just showing you that you don't always have to go out and buy the well-known name brand stuff. You can buy an inexpensive fragrance and it smells just like it or similar to it. Like, people need to cut the foolishness out, man, for real. Like, it's not that serious, bro. Everybody can't afford to run out and buy all this high-priced name brand stuff. Yeah, like you said before, and I've heard other people say it, save the coin instead of going and buying this, that, and the other for $10, $20, and $30. Just save that money and whatever. Well, most people still can't do that, or just are impatient and don't want to wait to buy that. If you can't afford Le Male from Jean-Paul Gaultier, another inexpensive fragrance is Perry LS 360 White. Smells eerily similar for less price, $19.99, 20 bucks, versus paying $60, $70, $80, $90 for Le Male. It smells eerily similar. I think one of the best classy Dolce and Gabbana fragrances besides what is it? The one is Dolce and Gabbana Pour On, in which I found at Ross for like $30. Kind of dated at this point. Nobody really wears it. Has that iris, that lipsticky makeup bag type vibe. Very nice fragrance for formal events, weddings, dinners, places like things like that. Not bad for a Ross type fragrance. TJ Maxx. I've heard people boost Bulgari fragrances. Hell, you can find these at TJ Maxx and Ross. So I guess you was lying about that too when you said that these were good fragrances. Why would somebody want to go and pay 20, 25, and $30 for one of these because you guys said that it was good? And now you turn around and say don't buy cheap fragrances? This was cheap. And y'all hyped this one. TJ Maxx. Bulgari Aquamarine. I've seen people, even he has talked good about this fragrance and said that it was a pretty damn good summer and springtime scent. I love this one to death. This is probably my favorite aquatic scent. I found this at TJ Maxx for about $25, $30. That's cheap. So I guess you was lying when you said something good about this one too then. Always makes his list. And at the end he says he don't like it. It's not his favorite because of, I guess the orange note that's in it or something in it that doesn't agree with him. He said he don't like it. But this always makes your summer list. Why? If you don't like it, why even talk about it? Like I'm not understanding. You were one of the main reasons why I wanted this one so bad, because you and other reviewers hyped this to high hell. That's the reason why I got it. And when I got it, I don't think it's bad at all. I wore it to work on my wrist just to test it. And the heat and me sweating made it perform even better. So why even hype something like this if you don't like it? I'm not understanding. You know what this is. Another one that was given to me. I didn't have to purchase this one. Somebody sent it to me. And I've been wanting to get my hands on it. I've smelled samples of it. I didn't expect my man to send me a whole bottle of this. And I greatly appreciate it. This is vintage, Pineapple Vintage Intense, in which I wore this last night. So my collection really isn't a slouch. Of course, I don't have all the same fragrances that you have, my friend. I don't. But my collection is really not that bad of a collection. While you're out here telling people not to buy cheap fragrances and don't buy used fragrances and all this subliminal shots fired at me or whoever else. From the house of Dua, another one that was given to me. Desire 2. Great fragrance. My collection is not a slouch, homeboy. So, I mean, I'm not understanding what's all the hate for. Got Polo Red Extreme here. Another damn good fragrance. Like, I'm just saying, my guy. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I ain't even pulled out all the stuff that I have. I got another whole box down here. Whatever you guys saw on the table was just what I'm willing to get rid of right now. I have a bunch of shit in these two boxes that are good quality fragrances that I'm not willing to let go. So somebody just prejudged what was going on, and I could be totally wrong. He might not have been talking to me. But I think some of the people in the comment section that was just solely agreeing with him because of who he is and they like him, is not a fair assessment on my part. Because not one time did I come on here and I shut down his website and say don't buy nothing from this person, or don't buy fragrances from so and so and such, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to give my fan base the best content I can on inexpensive fragrances so it won't break the bank. And I said it in the video yesterday. I agree with most of the points that he made. I do believe quality over quantity. I do believe that. And I've even said that in my videos. At the end of most of my videos, if I talk about, let me just pick one. I'm going to pick Guess 1981. Why would somebody with a collection like his or anybody else's with all this high-end stuff want to go out and buy Guess 1981? Why? That simply means that this content was not for those people. And I say that. I said, would I recommend this for someone with a high-end fragrance collection? No. I say it all the time, and you guys can attest for that. Go back and watch almost all of my videos, the more modern ones, not the older ones when I first started, because I didn't know any better. I evolved from that. So now my content is solely for, even in my description when you go on my page, it says this channel is for people who can't afford those high-end expensive fragrances or some shit like that. Like, who would want to buy something like this if they got all those high-end fragrances? They wouldn't even like this. Like, the smell of it wouldn't even be attractive to them, because they're niche snobs now, and they've gotten their nose on some more expensive and better quality stuff. And it happens. I've smelled the Pineapple Vintage. I've smelled the Albertage Concepts. I've smelled the Dior Cologne. I've smelled Sauvage. I've smelled all this stuff that people have recommended to us to buy. And I've smelled some other high-end stuff because I have a lot of decants and stuff over here. Yet and still, no matter how good some of this stuff smells, I'm not finna run out and spend that kind of coin on them. I appreciate what I have here in these decants. Casino Royal Knights. Casino Elixir. I have a bunch of dual stuff in here. This isn't even all of it. I have more stuff in the drawer over there. The Himalayan. I got Emperor X-Straight here. Hawass. Like, I have a lot of stuff in here. But it's not going to make me, just because somebody send me a decant, I'm not finna run out and, oh shit, I got to go get that. Like, nah. That's not me. I'm not finna do that. Now, if I do run across some extra cash and I see there's an opportunity for me to purchase something, either from somebody, like a partial bottle or something like that, then cool. I'll jump on it. But I'm not finna go out and spend $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 on no Aventus or nothing like that. Especially with people talking about right now how even Aventus doesn't perform like it used to. That's ridiculous. People are so pissed off that they buying Creed Aventus right now and it's not smelling like the original batches. If Creed really cared that much about their fragrances and the quality of it, they would do more quality control, and every batch that came out with that smokiness in it would be the same, and they wouldn't have a fruity batch out that people don't really care for, because a lot of people aren't into fruity fragrances. A lot of people fell in love with that smokiness, that birch and all that stuff. So they would have kept it like it was. People would be satisfied. It would be performing like a monster, and nobody would be complaining. But you see it every day. It gets louder and louder. You can hear it every day. The voices get louder and louder, and people are complaining that Creed doesn't perform like it used to. It's not lasting like it used to. It's not projecting like it used to. One of the most hyped fragrances that came out recently is the Aventus Cologne. This is a carded sample somebody sent me. And the reviews on this were horrible. People who love Creed Aventus are saying how this doesn't smell that good. It's not a performer. Like, I've heard all of this. I've actually listened to, I've read the comments. I've seen videos on people talking about this. And people ran out and bought that. They spent their hard-earned money on this, and now they are stuck with this crap. So why are people hating people who can't afford to buy higher-end fragrances? That's our preference. Leave those people alone. I'm not bothering you. I'm in my own world. I'm in my own lane. Why is what I'm doing bothering you so much that you got to take subliminal shots on why not buying used bottles, and why not? Like, I'm not out here selling fake fragrances. All this stuff is real. I could see if I was somebody out here scamming people selling fake Creed and all that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of people out there who are. That's one reason why I don't deal with eBay, because I don't trust them people. I don't trust them people. I don't know these people. My guy James over at Outlaw Frags just did a video not too long ago about how this lady scammed him out of $100 and something over, I forgot what it was he bought from her, but he just got scammed and lost $100 and something. This man is a retired disabled vet from the military. He's on a fixed income. He said it in his video. And he can't afford to lose that kind of money. And somebody just scammed this man out of $100 and something. And you want me to... You mad at me because of me selling some fragrances that I sprayed once or twice just to test? You do the same thing. You got bottles that you done opened, that you done sprayed and used and tested, and then you decant out of to send people samples of. I mean, what's the difference? Why? Just because you have a couple of backup bottles still in the plastic, that makes it better? Like, I'm not understanding the whole premise behind what was said in the video. I mean, like I said, you made valid points. And this is the last time I'm addressing this video, this mess, because I'm kind of above all of this negativity. I don't indulge in that kind of stuff. That's why I don't too much post anything on Facebook. And if I do, I just share something that I see that was probably funny or something like that. But as far as posting, that's why I stay away. If I would have never posted that video on Facebook on the fragrances that I was trying to get rid of, I guarantee you that none of this would even be talked about right now. It's too much. It was too much of a coincidence. It was way too much of a coincidence. And I've been quoted in a couple of my videos as saying niche snobs. And that's what he said in his video. He said, I've been called niche snob and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I've said that. Because I don't see how people who have been where most of us small-time reviewers are, how you look down on us just because you've gotten a little bit of success, and now you sitting up on your high horse looking down on everybody else like we peons, like we ants. You started where I started. I look up to all of these guys, Big Beard Business, Robes '08, Redolescence, um, um, all these other websites, review sites. I look up to all these guys because they've been around the block a couple of times. They know what they're talking about. And he's a young guy. I get the fact that he knows what he's talking about also. But for you to knock that, I think that was my biggest no-no. The fact that he tried to knock people's hustle on what they do, and then you hype your own hustle, which is technically the same thing I'm doing. But I don't know, man. I'm not gonna dwell on it anymore. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm still not mad at this dude. I'm not gonna bash what he has going on, his hustle. I wish him and everybody else the most success. And the only time I'm gonna name drop is when it's something positive. I'm not gonna name drop when it's some BS like this. Like I'm above that, man. I look at these guys' fragrance collections that they have behind them in their videos, and I admire them. I sit back and damn, man, I wish I could afford that. I wish I could afford this. I wish I could do this like that. I just don't have the means to do it right now. I'm trying to get my hustle on, my grind up, and you got people out there that keep throwing stones, breaking out my windows to my shop. I'm using that as just a term. But people are throwing stones and trying to keep breaking the windows out my shop so I can't have my grand opening. Every time I try to do something, take another step, somebody or something happens and it pushes me back 2 steps. Well, I'm not being pushed back anymore, because the old me would have got mad. I would have came on. I would have said a whole bunch of shit and cussed people out and all that kind of stuff. Nope. I'm going to keep pushing. So you can push on me hard as you want to. I'm going to lean forward, let you push as hard as you can, and my steps are going to be slow and steady going forward. So it is what it is, my man. I mean, if you want to send more shots, send them on. It is what it is. But my subscribers are true subscribers. And I'm not telling people any lies. I'm not going on here and telling people that everything I have is wonderful, and when you spray it, glitter and cupcakes and all kinds of stuff falls out of the sky. I'm not telling people stuff like that. I'm telling them what's 100. If I say something is dog shit, then it's dog shit. Don't go get it. If I say something is okay, then people are going to be like, oh, I don't know if I should go get that one because he said it was Or if I smell something like this Mandarina Duck Black that I ordered online for a reasonable price, and I say, oh shit, it kind of smells like Chanel Allure Homme Sport or Extreme, which one you think people gonna buy? People gonna buy O Extreme, or they gonna go and get this because it's more affordable, it lasts just as long, and it smells almost identical. If it was me and I was listening to me, I would go buy this one all day versus paying $60, $70, $80 for a Chanel. This probably costs what, like 20 something, 30 something dollars versus paying $60, $70, $80 for Chanel. Come on, man. That choice is crazy stupid. You would go with this one unless you just want to go for the name brand, just to go out and brag and say, oh, I got Chanel. I got Chanel. Who gives a fuck? When you spray this shit on, ain't nobody gonna know what the fuck the name of this shit is, because they wouldn't be asking you if they did. Oh, you smell so nice. What do you have on, Chanel? No. It's Mandarina Duck, bitch. Come on. Like, come on, man. Like, for real. It's not like we buy these fragrances and then we tie the shit around our neck like a damn, like that clock that Flavor Flav wears around his neck, and you got the shit on, and you know what I'm saying, you advertising. Nobody knows what the fuck you have on unless you tell them. And the majority of the time, I don't even tell people what I'm wearing when they ask. Because it doesn't matter. The only thing matters is that you said I smell good. Oh, you smell so nice. You smell good. You smell delectable. Thank you, bitch. Yeah. I smell good. It don't matter what the fuck I got on. If I walk into the hospital and I'm wearing fucking Maximum by Aeropostale and people are complimenting me, in which I'm not gonna lie, to me this is trash. I've heard a few people say when I did a review on this that this was good. I don't like this. It has a decent scent to it, but it's not strong enough and it doesn't last on me. But if I walk in and I'm getting compliments off of wearing some shit like this, and I got it from the damn shoe, what is it? It just closed down. Payless. This is where this came from. Payless. For about 15, 20 bucks when it was closing down, they had it marked down. Because this was a little bit expensive. This shit was like $30-something for this cheap ass shit. But if I get compliments off of this, I'm not walking around telling them I'm wearing Maximum by Aeropostale, because it don't matter. The only thing matters is that I smell good. When I wore Bora Bora and I was getting all them compliments, Bora Bora is a real cheap fragrance. That shit run you like $12 at Ross. And depending on the bottle size, you can get it for at least $19.99 also. But I'm just saying, when I wore Bora Bora to work, I wasn't going around bragging that that's what I had on all day. All I knew is that all the women that were around me that day, that were damn sniffing my neck and sniffing my shirt and stuff like that, they knew that I smelled good and I knew I had something on my hands. When I wore Aquamarine and them two young nurses came running down the hallway saying that anytime I want to walk through their department smelling like this, I can do it anytime. I didn't tell them what the fuck I had on, because it wasn't none of their business. So, once again, in closing this video, and I know I've missed a lot of points, but this is going on 50 minutes now, and I don't want to drag it out too much longer. My whole point is, don't knock another man's hustle. There's a market out here for everything, and if somebody wants to buy a partial bottle, somebody wants to buy a bottle that I sprayed 1 or 2 sprays just to test and see what something smells like, that's their business. If they want to spend their money on with whoever, it's their business. It's enough money out here for everybody, homie. And for you to try to knock somebody else's hustle, and I'm just saying this right now not to even put me in the mix. I'm speaking for everybody who is on the level I'm on, that's trying to get their hustle on. There's enough money out here for everybody. And this is not something that I'm doing all day, every day. I don't have some website that people can go to and buy fragrances and order fragrances. I'm just offloading some of my stuff so I can buy some more stuff to add more content to my videos for my channel. I'm not out here trying to steal money from you. I'm not bashing your channel saying don't go to this man's website and buy this and that. I want people to go to his website and check out his stuff. Go over there and see what he got. I got a notification a couple of days ago saying that he's now selling decants. So if anybody's interested, go over to his website. I'm not going to mention his name or his channel, because I don't want to put that out there that, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know by now who I'm talking about. Go check out his website and see what he got. You might find something on there that you might be willing to buy. Because not everything on there is going to be expensive. I think I have went on there once. I lied earlier in the video. I think I did check him out once. But some of his stuff that I was looking at, I was like, damn, I could find that cheaper somewhere else. So that's just my personal opinion. But check him out. See what he got. You might like something. You might find something you like. He might have a decant of something that you've been looking for that you can't find anywhere else. Who knows? But I wish everybody the best success, man, in whatever they're doing, especially with this Fragcom thing, because it's a cesspool, man. Like, it's a big bunch of BS. A big steaming hot pile of it. And people are just sticking their hands in it and just slinging it at other people, slinging it down at people like me, and I'm just wiping it off, and I'm gonna keep moving, guys. So it is what it is, man. Hoping you guys having a great Sunday. I'm actually about to get up and get, yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm about to get up and get dressed. I'm on my way to Jacksonville, Florida with my friend. We're going to go to a local flea market there. And there's a fragrance store there that I usually frequent. I get decants and stuff like that from. Every now and then I'll find a bottle of something that I like that I'll purchase. But hopefully I can find something today. We're going to go to a couple of stores and check out some stuff. So I may do 1 or 2 videos depending on where we're going. Hopefully we can hit Marshall's. I can do a video and wherever else. I'm not sure if I can video inside the flea market because they might be a little iffy with that. But if I could get away with going to Marshall's and some other stores, I will get you guys some more videos out. Anyone still interested in any fragrances that I have for sale, the video is still up. Right now, only 3 fragrances are gone. I can't remember off top. Let me tell you what they are off top, so you won't be asking me about the same. So the Azzaro Chrome Sport is technically traded. I actually am trading that one for a Blue Day Chanel, a partial Blue Day Chanel, and the original John Varvatos is gone. The Jaguar Classic Motion is gone, and the Scuderia Ferrari Forte is actually gone. They are all going to the same person. He has actually already paid me for these 3. I just didn't go pick up the money yet from Walmart. I'm actually waiting until Monday when I can ship, and it makes it, in my mind, feel fair that, you know, I didn't accept the money without them, at least their package being shipped off already. That's just how my mind works. I don't like to feel like I'm shitting somebody, or, you know, what if I take the money and then I die, you know what I'm saying, walking outside of Walmart and they never get their stuff. Like, that wouldn't be right. So, I'm going to wait until I'm about to ship the fragrance, and then I'll pick the money up to use some of that, because I did add the shipping into it, so he paid for the fragrances and the shipping. And that's how I'm doing it now, because that's exactly how the fragrance websites do it. You have to pay that shipping unless you get free shipping, and we're not doing free shipping over here. That is costly, especially with them weighing it. And you got to pay for the box if you don't already have boxes and stuff like that. So all the prices are listed in that video I posted of what I'm selling. You can find that same video on Facebook also if you're friends with me on Facebook. It's on YouTube also. Mostly everything is going for $20, with the exception of a few fragrances that may be $10, or I have 1 or 2 I think that was like $25. But for the most part, everything is $20. And you add shipping, so if it's a single fragrance, it's going to be between $7 to maybe $8 or $9. And if it's more than 1 fragrance, if it's 3, I know I shipped 3 fragrances off before, and it ran me like $10, $15. So you have to add that extra into it for shipping. I don't do those little envelope type things because it's too susceptible to getting crushed. Something falls on it, breaks. I had a subscriber actually send somebody a package and it came in broke, and I think that's what they use, one of those. So I'll mostly all the time use a box and put a lot of bubble wrap in it. So with that being said, I am out of here, guys. Please don't get it misconstrued. I am not here to bash anybody. I just did not like the fact that it felt like a subliminal shot was fired right after I posted my video about me, what I was selling. And then right after that, he came in and kind of sent some shots on not to buy cheapies, but then plugged his own channel, own website in the same breath. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, dang, you talked about cheapy fragrances on your channel, so does that make you a liar? Like, all that was going into my head, man. So I'm not on here to bash him for what he said. He did have a lot of valid points. And I will say, like I've said before, please make sure when you're buying fragrances that you do your homework. Make sure it's something that you're really going to want before you buy it. Whether it's cheap or expensive. Because just because you spend $200, $300, $400, $500 on something, that does not mean you're always going to get quality. It does not mean that. Because like I said before, I've seen and I've heard people say a lot of times that certain fragrances don't smell that good, but they paid a lot of money for it. I've seen and I've heard people say that their favorite fragrances don't perform like they used to. So you can't sit here and just knock people for buying cheap fragrances. People are, skeptical when it comes to their money. And I don't blame them, because I'm skeptical when it comes to mine. I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not balling out of control. So with that being said, guys, you make your decisions, but make sure you make wise ones in whatever you buy. I'm out of here. Peace.